So benefits of having small group instruction is when I'm able to pull either one-on-one or a group of students who need support in a specific skill back and reinforce and work on that skill with them to have them reach mastery. So I'm able to give exit tickets or review questions, and then I just quickly glance over and check. And when we start our small group rotations, I'm just able to verbally call out students who are needing reinforcement in those skills that we went over. It's wonderful because I'm able to talk with them more about their misconceptions and understand their thought process, and then help them either figure out in a different way or, just really reinforce the standard and the content and the skill. So as I have a group at the table and I'm working on skills with students, my other students are in groups. I do my groups based off of their MAP-RIT score, and it's just very easy data to look at to see where they fall in place and how I can easily group them. And then I have them doing resources like Zern, which is good because they're able to work at their own pace. Some people will pick up a skill faster than the others, so they're able to keep going through. Another one I use is IXL. I'm able to tell the kids exactly what resource and skill I want them to practice, and it gives them practice in different variety of ways, and they also have to master it. They like it because they get badges. Another resource I use is Khan Academy /Mappers. It's a wonderful resource because I am able to plug in their individual scores from their math test per domain, and it gives them practice based off of their score. So it does all my differentiation practice for them, and it's just easy. They just log on and they practice. If they get stumped, it provides them videos to use.
The key pieces for a successful small group rotation are making sure that we have planned for what the other children are doing, making sure that we know what the kids are doing with us based off their MAP scores, the learning continuum, and previous assessments that we have looked at, and making sure that we have grouped them into similar skills, that they are all on the same similar level to each other so that we can get them to close those gaps. During small groups, some of the benefits that I've seen are that kids are able to come in contact with the teacher more one-on-one, and also their peers. They're able to talk to each other more about the content and really dive in to see where the gaps are and where we can close those gaps. And they're also able to practice by themselves on some of the things we've already looked at, and that will help them really solidify the skill on their own. As far as data and the growth that we've seen in class, I've seen a lot of growth with my kids who are struggling with certain things when they come in, and when they leave, they understand things like cause and effect. And we do that by making sure we have given them things with their hands to work with, like cause and effect, to really just like dive deeper into the learning that we're looking at. In our math data, I've seen that we have grown a lot in our math based off our Zern scores. Every day they are given, or every week they're given a new lesson, and based off those lessons we look at each student and individualize what they're going to be looking at. If we need to review rounding or something like that, then they are able to have an individual plan on Zern, which is really awesome, and it helps close those gaps as well. And I've seen a lot of growth from our MAP scores based off that. People who started at the beginning had lower, and now we are growing to where we need to be. So we were doing an assessment this past week over area, and one of the gaps that I saw was students were struggling when we were looking at area is equal to length times width. So I created this anchor chart and made sure to point to it during our lesson, and we were pulling kids back and looking specifically at one of the numbers on here that was looking at a double-digit number multiplied by a single-digit number, and we looked just at that, and we were able to break down and remind us that area is equal to length times width. So if they're ever on their own, they remember that that is the formula that helps them for success. After the reteach, my students who were back here understood, about 98% I would say, understood that area is equal to length times width, and they were able to go to the next center, which is math to themselves and able to fill out an exit ticket there about that formula and solving for area.
Very important for instruction. How I set up small groups is using the map data. And what's really cool about the map data is that they actually group your students for you, and it makes it easier so you can have your literacy station groups and your math station groups. And in addition to using my map data, I also use Fontes and Pinnell running record system to see where their reading level is at and see if that correlates with their map data. So they all, on both sides, I can see where they're falling into. The small group is having that personal relationship with the student and having that one-on-one time. I think it's very imperative that when you understand the student's struggles and skills, and you see it right in front of you, it's easier to address them. And the students also feel comfortable coming to you to talk to you in that way as well. And you can see what they're struggling with and also their strengths and work to that best ability for them. So for a small group time, first I do literacy stations. So I do the daily 4. Usually it's the daily 5, I do the daily 4, which is listen to reading, read to self. Then I do word work and a writing workshop, and then they're with me. So I actually have a wall that has each group, their names on each group, and which rotation they will be going to and which station they'll be going to. So let's say if I say we're going to do rotation 1, my students know to look up on our wall. They know which group they're supposed to be and which station they're supposed to be because we're rotation 1, and they go to that station at level 0, pick up their supplies for that station or their technology, or come to me, and then they work on that specific station up until our timer's up. So I usually put a timer up on the wall on our smartboard for 15 minutes so they know exactly how long they should be working until the next rotation comes up. I've received the student impact for at the end of the year for the results and how they come out of third grade learning and their skills. I see small groups being a huge vital tool that I use to impact their learning because they are getting that hands-on learning and one-on-one skill making and relationship building that it's really hard to do in a whole group setting. In a whole group setting, in a traditional setting, you can't get the specific skills and the specific weaknesses that a child might be struggling with, and they might be turning off, they might not be focusing. But in a small group, you can really hone in on what they need at a specific time so then they can progress in their own learning continuum.
I like the way Brooklyn is helping John. Thank you. John. Magali, did Nellie did that? Good job. You tell Magali thank you for helping. Okay, good job. Okay, you ready to go to the next one? Take your dice in your hand. Okay. Now, only on your paper, you can't touch it, so you drop it down. Hands up. Look at what your number is. Count your dice, how many dots you have. Good. And then draw that many dots. Let's count yours. draw that many. So Miss Tunnel has 6. What number am I going to write? 6, right? Let's see everybody's number and dots. Oh, your dice are still down. Where's yours? There you go. Jonathan, I like how that team's focused and working. Get up good. Good job. Everybody have their numbers? Yeah. Okay, write 6 right here beside. Now, take your number line. Miss Tunnel had 6, so I'm going to find 6. Go to your number line and find your number. Wilfred found his number. Where's your number? Oh, hang on just a moment. Good. Your number. Where's your number? 6. Where's your number? Now, what are we going to do? 1 less. So get ready to hop one time. Up, hop one time, Miss Lamaya. Good job. Look at the number you landed on. What'd you land on? 2. Good. Write that in your box. What'd you land on? Write it in your box. What'd you land on? Write it in your box. What'd you land on? 2. Box. What'd you land on?
So it could be the left,
I want on this.
So how many birds do you have? How many birds do you have? Before we do that, how many do you have? Okay, so the reason why that is because
I noticed that we needed a little comfort around it. How many of you guys agree with that? Yeah, okay. So let's just do some quick little just like reviews. So I'm gonna have you do 33 and then have you round to the nearest 10. Okay? Okay, so are you getting mixed up with which place it is, or just like when I say to the 10 or when I say to 100 for remembering which one to do? Is that the one? So my trick I'm going to tell you to do is if we're saying 10, I would write 10 on top somewhere. That way it reminds you 10, okay? Okay, so if I'm asking you to round to the nearest 10, what number am I going to underline? The 8. Why are you underlining the 8? Because it's in the tens place. Good. And then when I underline the 8, what do I do with the 3? I circle it. Why do you think I circle it?
Because that's the one.
It's the ones place. And what is it going to tell us?
To go down.
To go up or down. Right. Okay, so 3, I remember, does what? Tells me up or down. Down. So if it tells me
Which problem are you solving on the whiteboard? Letter I, what are you solving on the whiteboard for, Bradley?
Equation.
Which is for, not for letter I, for the area. Solving letter I, solving for area on letter I.
How much markers do you got?
I know.
We used to have a lot. I don't know why we used to have a
I'm gonna do it on number one. Okay.
As a result of pulling small groups every day, is that I see more gaps being closed. For example, I worked over and over and over again with some students on subtraction with borrowing. Now they're able to get it right away. So when I give an assessment or an exit ticket and I pull back students who needed that reinforcement, and then I'm able to give them another quiz like a week later, they're able to show mastery from it. Also, I've seen students reaching their goals and things like that. You can just see in their eyes that they're really starting to get it. And then once that frustration level of not really understanding something simple as maybe subtraction, you can see them build their confidence and they're just really able to tackle new skills.